Good morning, Bitcoiners. This is Daniel from the Bitcoin Citadel, day 37 of Citadel Summer. And today I want to talk about good money and bad money. In the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi, the Bitcoin is actually referred to by Satoshi as peer-to-peer electronic cash, right? And since the beginning of Bitcoin, there have been people who say that the function of Bitcoin is supposed to be the same as the function of cash. It's supposed to be a medium of exchange. And there's a lot of controversy around it. And a lot of the altcoins, I was going to say shitcoins, but kid show, right? A lot of the altcoins, their critique of Bitcoin is that it's not a great medium of exchange and that they're better than Bitcoin because they are designed to be a medium of exchange. That was, part of the controversy around Bitcoin Cash. Roger Vetter still thinks that that's, Bitcoin should be a medium of exchange. We have to optimize the protocol, right? But let's think about why Bitcoin might not be used so much as a medium of exchange right now, even though right in the white paper, peer-to-peer electronic cash. All right, let's talk about the cash part. Cash is another word for money, right? Money. So if we say maybe Satoshi meant money when he was talking about cash, maybe that's what he was referring to. Okay. Money has more properties than just a medium of exchange. Money is also a store of value. So medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account. There's a lot of properties of money. If you've watched Robert Breedlove's videos or you've been in Bitcoin for any length of time, you're probably aware of that. And if you're not, you got to learn about money if you're a Bitcoiner, because part of the appeal of Bitcoin is for people who don't trust the current financial system. We have found Bitcoin and we've actually learned about finance and how money works, right? And if you're new to Bitcoin and you haven't gone down that rabbit hole, part of your 100 hours of study, I'm referring to my friend Jerry Loves Freedom, who says you need to get 1 million Satoshis and do 100 hours of study when you first get into Bitcoin. And I agree with him on this. So part of your 100 hours of study should be to understand what money is and how the financial system works. One of the great insights into money is called Gresham's Law, named after Sir Thomas Gresham. And he was alive in the 16th century. And the reason he came up with Gresham's Law, which says bad money drives out good money, was because the money was so bad in Elizabethan England, right? It was really, really bad. They actually, had very, very strict laws and very severe penalties for folks who were screwing with the money, because the money was debased due to, all of the wars they were fighting and stuff. And also there were people who were just counterfeiting money, it was really bad, right? So Sir Thomas Gresham comes along, real big dude, right? Intellectually in England at that time, makes this observation that when there's bad money and good money, people hold on to the good money and they spend the bad money or try to spend it. And that was part of the problem, is that, the money was so bad that it was really difficult to make a transaction, right? Not good for the economy. So bad money drives out good money. And right now, you might have noticed, if you're a Bitcoiner, that we have bad money and good money in our current system too. The bad money are the fiat currencies that we have in every country in the world. The king of the fiat currencies, the one that is accepted anywhere in the world really is the US dollar. But even that one is bad money, especially when you compare it to Bitcoin, which is perfect money. It's really good money. So is it any surprise to people that, folks would rather spend US dollars, the bad money, right? You want to get rid of that bad money, especially if you get paid in US dollars, right? Or any fiat currency. You'd rather spend that money and hold on to the good money. So my thesis is, and we have ways of using Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. Lightning is awesome, right? You can use Lightning payments for anything down to the smallest unit. You can send 1 Satoshi. I see people zap 1 Satoshi, 8 Satoshis, really small amounts of money all the time on Nostr, right? For folks who don't know, who are new to Bitcoin, a Satoshi is a unit of Bitcoin. It's actually it's the token of Bitcoin. It's the smallest unit of Bitcoin. It's 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoins in existence. They're being released regularly. Every 10 minutes, some Bitcoin is released into the network, and the miners are competing for that Bitcoin, and it's released every 10 minutes. So scarce resource, released on a regular schedule. The smallest unit is the Satoshi. And you can spend Satoshis super easily. If you have a Lightning wallet, boom, zap, you can spend it. And people do. But Gresham's law states that bad money drives out good money. And all that means is people want to hold on to the good money and they want to spend the bad money when it's possible, right? When you can spend it. So you'd much rather spend your, inflationary US dollars that are going to zero against Bitcoin really fast, right? And are less and less valuable every single day, right? You'd rather spend that right away when you first get it. That's why people have a high time preference. The money is so bad that you're better off spending it right away than you are saving it. Bitcoin flips that on its head. Bitcoin is holding its value and increasing in value quite rapidly against this bad money, the US dollar. So why would you spend your Bitcoin? Why would you use it as a medium of exchange? If you can, if it's possible, a smart person, an intelligent person who understands finance and understands money would never sell their Bitcoin or use their Bitcoin, spend their Bitcoin. You'd hodl it. So that's why Bitcoin appears now to be a poor medium of exchange. It's not because it is. It's a great it's probably the best medium of exchange that's ever been invented. You can divide it into units that are so small, right? A Satoshi, 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin, right? That's the Bitcoin token, the Satoshi. The reason it's not used as a medium of exchange right now, at the level that folks would say, hey, this is a terrible medium of exchange. The reason for that is Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good. People hold on to good money and they want to spend the bad money if possible. You guys know my thesis, if you've been watching this, the Citadel Summer this summer, is that there very soon, starting now actually, there's going to be a couple things that are happening. Number one, people are going to start making things for Bitcoin, offering services for Bitcoiners. So haberdashers, cobblers, tailors, right? If you look at old pictures, everybody dressed good. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor. Even if you were really poor, you didn't, right? But almost everybody dressed really well. And one of the reasons for that is there were all kinds of folks who made really good clothes and shoes and hats and all that stuff. And they were made bespoke. They were made for you. They were tailored for you. The shoes were made to fit you. The hat was made for you. Rich people had their measurements with a tailor, with a cobbler, shoemaker, with someone who made hats, a haberdasher, right? Everything was made that way because the way you paid for that stuff was with gold, right? With hard currency. So it was worth it to get a suit when you were 20, have it made by a tailor with enough, fabric in it so it could be let out as you got older and your stomach got bigger and your body changed shape. But it was still the same suit. You could literally buy a good suit and have that for the rest of your life. You could buy a pair of shoes, and instead of lasting for a year and then falling apart, they would last for 20 or 30 years, right? So that's where we're going with Bitcoin. There's going to be a bifurcation in the economy. It's already started. And the good things in life will only be available with Bitcoin. And when I say the good things, I mean the things that you can buy, all the things like family and, all that stuff that you really can't buy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that are worth buying will only be available through Bitcoin, and they're going to be better, way better. The food is going to be better. The clothing, everything that you can buy is going to be better if you buy it with Bitcoin. Now, if you use bad money, fiat money, what's going to be very soon, there's going to be that universal basic income. The US dollar is going to become food stamps, trash tokens, as Nolan Bowerly calls it, right? So if you're paying for things with trash tokens, they're going to get worse. They're bad now, right? There's not a lot of quality things available now. There's still some, right? But not a lot of quality things available, and it's going to get worse. The food is going to be bad, The medicine is going to be bad, and it's going to be just to keep you alive long enough, right? So that the system can extract all value from you. But if the only value you have is trash tokens, maybe they're not going to want to keep you alive as long anymore. Now the system it seems to be, feed people this food that makes them unhealthy, put them on the drugs that will keep them alive long enough that we can extract all the value that they've acquired throughout their lives, and then let them die, right? That system's going to change, my friend. You already see it in Canada. Now they have the assisted suicide in Canada. That's going to be one of the recommended treatments for a lot of things moving forward, right? When you're living on universal basic income, that's the future of medicine for you, right? If you're on a Bitcoin standard, you can get, good doctors, good medicine. Everything is going to bifurcate, right? Gresham's law, bad money drives out good. But you, if you're a Bitcoiner, are going to have good money, and you're going to be able to, you should hodl it now. You should be holding on to your Bitcoin, right? I spend Bitcoin all the time because I live on a Bitcoin standard, right? So I have to. And I'm interested in these loan products that are coming out, but I think that's a good way to lose all of your Bitcoin rather than spending a little bit now. So I'm a hodler. I do spend Bitcoin. What I do is I do what Jack Mallers used to recommend. I think he recommends taking a loan from Strike now, but I use my credit cards to spend as much as I can, or to buy as much, to finance my life as much as I can, right? And then as Bitcoin goes up, right, over time, I wait as long as I can to pay off those credit cards with my Bitcoin, right? So that's what I do. I do use some good money, but my day-to-day transactions are in the bad money, and then I wait until I pay off my obligations with the good money. And that's what I'm doing right now. Other people are taking loans and all that stuff. I haven't bought into that yet. I think that's how people are going to get wrecked in this cycle, to tell you the truth. All right, I think I've gone on long enough. Kind of a cool semi-foggy morning out here at the lake. A little color in the sky. I like that. Almost ran out of gas on the way here. Cross your fingers for me, so I can get to the gas station before I run out of gas. Fingers crossed. Bitcoin Citadel. We're starting to really come up to speed. If you want to book some time with me, you know how to do it. Link in the description. I don't know if anyone ever gets to the end of the video. If you do, Give me a comment or something that you made it to the end. Maybe I'll do some kind of incentive program for people to make it to the end and let me know that they did. Anyway, like, subscribe, notify, all those kind of things. Book a half-hour free session with me to talk about Bitcoin. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.